You know, sometimes the best pairings, they come from the most unexpected places. Like, have you ever had one of those peanut butter and pickle sandwiches
Yeah.
or like salt on watermelon?
Right.
Kind of strange, but they just work.
Yeah.
And in the world of music and business, well, there's a duo that at first glance might seem just as surprising.
Yeah.
Diddy and Justin Bieber.
That's right. Diddy and Justin Bieber, two names you don't usually hear in the same sentence.
Yeah.
And what makes this pairing so fascinating is that it's not just some, surface level thing. It's a connection that's been building for years. We're talking mentorship, business savvy, and yeah, maybe even a touch of calculated mystery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's back up a bit, set the stage for those who might not have all the details at their fingertips.
Sure.
So we've got Diddy, right?
Right.
The name's iconic.
Yeah.
Hip-hop mogul, producer extraordinaire,
Yeah.
like he practically invented 90s swagger.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side, we've got Justin Bieber,
Yep.
the pop prince who, let's be honest, he basically skyrocketed to fame when he was like barely old enough to drive.
Right.
Catchy tunes, yeah, some tabloid drama along the way, but you can't deny his impact.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And you'd think, given their backgrounds, their genres, their whole public personas even, that maybe their paths might have just, briefly intersected,
Right.
a quick handshake at an award show, that kind of thing.
Yeah, just a quick, hey, good song in passing, and that's it, right?
Exactly. But this was different. Diddy, he saw something special in Bieber early on. We're talking when Bieber was just a kid.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And this wasn't just a quiet nod of approval behind the scenes either. Diddy, he publicly championed Bieber's potential, almost like a passing of the torch moment. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it went back that far. So it wasn't just like a respect thing for a fellow artist. It was like he saw something, like a spark.
Exactly. Exactly. Like
Yeah.
this kid, he's got that it factor, and Diddy, he wanted the whole world to know it.
Yeah, and that kind of endorsement from someone like Diddy, I mean, that's huge.
Absolutely.
That's a career maker right there. It's like he was signaling to the whole industry, hey, pay attention to this kid. He's going places.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. It was like a stamp of approval, but not just any stamp. It was like the gold standard stamp of approval.
Exactly.
And what's really interesting is it wasn't just about the music either. From the very beginning, Diddy, he saw Bieber's potential as a brand, as a businessman, as someone who could build a lasting empire that went way beyond just, topping the Billboard charts.
Huh. So not just a musician, but a mogul in the making.
Precisely. He saw that Bieber had this raw talent, this charisma, this ability to connect with audiences on a massive scale, and he knew that could translate to success in all sorts of arenas.
So you're saying this was like almost strategic on Diddy's part. Like he was recognizing a kindred spirit, someone who could take that, I don't know, that hustle, that ambition, and apply it to more than just music.
I think you're spot on. And that's where things get even more, well, shall we say, layered. We start to see this mentor-mentee dynamic emerging.
Yeah.
And again, it wasn't just about, Diddy giving Bieber pointers on stage presence or anything like that. This was deeper.
So more like guiding principles, like this is how you build a legacy, how you turn your name into something that lasts.
Exactly, exactly. Like this is how you navigate the game, how you play chess, not checkers.
Wow. And Bieber, he seems to have taken those lessons to heart, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
Because if we fast forward to today,
Mm-hmm.
look at what Bieber has built.
Yeah.
It's not an accident.
And this is where the tabloid drama, it gets almost impossible to ignore, right? Because
Yeah.
we're talking about two figures who, let's face it, they've both had their fair share of headlines.
Absolutely. The tabloids, they had a field day, didn't they? I mean, how could they resist?
Oh, for sure. You've got the parties, the rumors about Diddy's influence on Bieber's, what some would call his rebellious phase, and they ate it up. Every little whisper, every speculation, it was front page news.
And what I find really fascinating is, amidst all of that noise, neither Diddy nor Bieber ever really felt the need to, set the record straight.
It's true, they were pretty tight-lipped about the whole thing.
Exactly. They let the rumors swirl, they stayed relatively silent, and in a way that just fueled the public's fascination even more.
You know, it's like they understood that sometimes saying nothing is the most powerful move you can make.
I think that's exactly right. They were in control of the narrative, even in their silence.
It makes you wonder what was going on behind the scenes, though, right? Like, what were they really thinking during those years? What was said that never made it to the tabloids?
Right. It's like this whole untold story. But, even with all the noise, the speculation, the underlying thread, the connection between them, it remained.
And it went beyond the music, didn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because both Diddy and Bieber, they've proven themselves to be incredibly savvy businessmen.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was just going to say. We got to talk about the business side of things because both of these guys, they're not just artists, they're entrepreneurs, they're building empires.
Exactly. And that's where the similarities in their career trajectories, they really become undeniable.
Like Bieber's success with his clothing line, his investments, that's not just luck,
Not
right?
at all.
There's a sharp business mind at work there. He was paying attention. He was learning.
Right.
He was absorbing everything.
Exactly. And that's something we'll dive into even further when we come back.
It's like they both understood that to really build something that lasts, something with impact, you got to think bigger.
100%. You can't just slap your name on a product and call it a day.
Right.
And while we haven't seen, like an official Diddy Bieber business collab yet,
Right.
they're definitely not strangers to moving in the same circles.
Yeah.
Industry events, those high-profile parties, they've been spotted together enough to keep everyone guessing.
Oh, absolutely. They know how to keep people talking. Remember that picture that made the rounds a few months back, the one of them at that tech conference?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
The one where they were both casually leaning on a Tesla or something.
Yes. Everyone was analyzing every pixel of that photo.
Like, are they about to drop a new app together?
Right. Is this like a secret meeting of the minds?
Honestly, I don't think either of them could have planned a better publicity stunt even if they tried.
It's masterful, really, because those appearances, they're not accidents. They're calculated. It's all about cultivating an image, dropping those little hints that something bigger is on the horizon.
Playing the long game. Speaking of which, can we talk about Diddy's business moves for a second? This is a guy who, he gets it. He understands how to build an empire.
Yeah.
Expert speaker, hit me with an analogy here. What's a good comparison for Diddy's approach to business? Okay. To really grasp Diddy's strategy, we got to rewind a bit. Remember that deal he made with Sting? The one where he got a piece of the royalties for every breath you take.
Oh, yeah, because it was sampled in I'll Be Missing You.
Exactly. Genius.
Totally. Talk about securing a piece of a classic. But wait, remind me, how did he even swing that? Was that like a common thing back then?
Not really, no. Most people, they would just clear the sample, paid a flat fee, and moved on. But Diddy,
Yeah.
he saw the bigger picture. He knew that every breath you take, that's a timeless song. It's going to live forever.
Right. So he basically ensured that he'd have a cut of, music history.
Exactly. He created a long-term revenue stream tied to a song that will literally never go out of style. That's next-level thinking right there. That's Diddy.
Wow. He wasn't just playing checkers. He was playing chess while everyone else is still learning the rules.
Exactly. So think about Justin Bieber. Do you think any of that long-term vision, do you think it might have rubbed off on him during those early days?
It's hard to say for sure, but look at his moves. They're smart. They're calculated.
Right.
His clothing line, Drew House, for example,
Yeah.
that wasn't just about putting his name on a T-shirt.
Right.
It was strategic. He tapped into a trend, built a brand that really resonated with his fans. That screams Diddy's influence to me.
Right. And that's the thing. Bieber, he gets it. He understands that to build a lasting legacy, you need more than just talent. You need that business savvy. You need to be strategic.
And sometimes you got to know how to make a statement without saying a word. Which brings us to that charity event where both Diddy and Bieber just happened to be in attendance.
Oh, yeah. That definitely got people talking.
They weren't photographed together or anything, but the fact they were even at the same event, the internet went wild.
You're like the ultimate tease. And honestly, that's kind of their thing, isn't it? That will they, won't they energy. They've mastered the art of keeping everyone guessing.
It's like they've created this whole world of speculation, and we're all just dying to know the punchline. Honestly, I'm not going to lie, part of me would love to see a full-on Diddy and Bieber collaboration.
Oh, now that would be something.
Right, imagine the possibilities. A joint album, a fashion line that, redefines streetwear. Or maybe they team up on some tech venture that nobody sees coming.
The possibilities are pretty much endless when you think about it. I mean, their individual styles are so distinct, so recognizable, but the thought of them combining forces, their strengths playing off each other.
Yeah, it could be huge.
Exactly. But, even if that particular dream team never quite materializes their connection, it really highlights a much bigger shift happening within the music industry itself.
Oh, okay. Tell me more. What do you mean?
We're seeing this really interesting blurring of lines between pure artistry and straight up business.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you You could be a musician and just focus on the music.
Right.
But these days, that's not enough. To really make it, to build a lasting career, you have to think like an entrepreneur.
So it's not enough to just have the talent anymore. You got to be the whole package.
Exactly. You got to be strategic. You got to know how to build a brand. You got to understand how to leverage your influence. It's like, think about Diddy. Whether it was intentional or not, he kind of became the blueprint for this new generation of artists.
Right.
He showed the world that you could dominate the charts and the boardroom.
Huh. So he's like the OG
I
musicpreneur.
like that.
Yeah.
The OG musicpreneur. And Bieber, even though he came up in a totally different musical era, he gets it. He's building his empire brick by brick. He's not content with just being a singer. And that's a powerful lesson for anyone, really.
Yeah, totally. It's like no matter what your field is, whether you're a musician, an artist, an entrepreneur, you got to think bigger. Don't just chase the quick win. Build something that lasts.
100%. Build a legacy, not just a career.
And who knows, maybe one day we'll be having the same conversation about some young artist who was inspired by Justin Bieber's hustle, just like he was inspired by Diddy's.
Right. It's this whole cycle of mentorship, innovation, and, let's be real, a little bit of calculated mystery.
And you know we'll be here to break it all down when that happens. Well, there you have it, folks. The fascinating, always entertaining, and yes, sometimes kind of puzzling world of Diddy and Justin Bieber. Proof that sometimes the most unexpected pairings can teach us a lot about success, about ambition, about the future of, well, pretty much everything. Until next time, keep those deep dives going.